Today we had breaking news that Radio Silence, the people who are behind Scream and Ready or Not, are making an Escape from New York movie. Well, we don't know if it's a sequel, if it's a requel, if it's a remake or whatever. But while we do know is that John Carpenter is on board to executive produce. Radio Silence will be doing the directing, and they are on a writer search for right now. What we don't know is if Kurt Russell will be involved. One report said that he was, one report disputed that, and then the third report didn't have any mention of it at all. So we'll have to figure out later if Kurt Russell will be in this, if it's a sequel or if it says something different. But for now, let's just assume it's a remake, just because that's kind of what Hollywood wants to do these days, and they want to remake things for newer audiences and add in more modern stuff to it. So we'll figure out if it's a requel, a remake, or a sequel later. But for now, let's assume it's a remake, and let's go through the casting, the dream casting that I would have for the Escape from New York remake. So to start off, you really have to knock it out of the ballpark here with the casting for Snake Plissken, because Snake is obviously one of the biggest action movie characters of all time. He's one of the best movie characters of all time. And throughout Escape from New York and Escape from LA, he is just an ultimate ass kicker. And so who better to play him than Kurt Russell's son, Wyatt Russell? So you can see Wyatt Russell, he kicks ass in Overlord and in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So he has action chops. He's a great actor as well. He has that same magic that his mom and dad and Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell have. And so I know Wyatt Russell has come out and said, I don't really want to do this, but John Carpenter has even said, hey, that would be a great choice for it. And back before we had this news, when Leigh Whannell was on board, he said his pick would have been Wyatt Russell. So hopefully if it's a remake, we can get Wyatt Russell. I don't have any other choices for this because I can't think of anybody else that could step into the shoes of Snake Plissken other than, of course, Snake Plissken himself, Kurt Russell's son. For Hauk or however you want to say it, he was played by Lee Van Cleef in the original film, and for this role you need somebody who is sort of that old school ass kicker action movie star or a western star like Lee Van Cleef was. It was a pitch perfect bit of casting, and so for this choice I'm gonna have to go with Kurt Russell. I know it would be distracting, but damn, it would be cool to see him act with his son on screen, especially in this role, in this sort of antagonistic, sort of almost mentorish role that Hauk has with Snake, where it's this give and get and they're both butting heads against each other, and it would be perfect. I know Kurt Russell probably wouldn't do it. You'd probably want him to be back in a sequel as Snake Plissken instead of playing Hauk, but in a dream world, this might be a really, really cool bit of casting. We can get some action movie firsts and fun there. If Kurt Russell obviously doesn't want to do it, there's plenty of other good choices you can get. You can get Sam Elliott, who's obviously a western star, action star. You could get William Sadler, who is just the fucking man in every movie that he's in. So go see Demon Knight, and you'll see that looks a little bit like Hauk there. You could get somebody like Stephen Lang, who is also the fucking man in every movie that he's in. He's in VFW, he's insane. Avatar, he's great. The new movie Old Man, he's fantastic, and Stephen Lang would be perfect for this role. And you can also get somebody who's a little less on the action vibe, but you can get someone like Bryan Cranston, who does have some action chops, but also could just go butt heads with Wyatt Russell as Snake. For Cabbie, I also only have one choice here because Ernest Borgnine's character from the original film is one of the most perfect bits of casting you can have in Hollywood history. And to repeat that, you need somebody who is well-worn in Hollywood, who has been around forever, who's seen everything, has been in everything, and that would be John Goodman. John Goodman has been busy with the Connors and all of that, but in movies like Matinee and 21 Cloverfield Lane, he is terrifying and also uplifting. And Cabbie sort of fits into that mold where you don't really know what he's there. Is he insane? Is he just a guy that likes weird music that wants to go see shows in prison New York? I'm not sure, but I know John Goodman would be perfect for this role, so he's who I would cast. As for Brain, I also have one and a half choices here because I think this one would be perfect as well. Harry Dean Stanton played him in the original film and gave a wit and a sort of comedic timing to the original film that was needed. And so to do it for the modern age, I think nobody would do it better than Danny McBride. And I know Danny McBride at this point is sort of a meme of an actor. Oh, he plays the same role all the time. But if you go back and you look at some of his roles, the character and the whole shtick that he does would be perfect for Brain. And if you can't get Danny McBride or whatever, then go for somebody like Marc Maron, who's also just kind of a wisecracker, but also is a very good actor. Marc Maron is a very, very good actor, and I think he would fit the role of Brain very well as this character that comes in and helps Snake, but is sort of an adversary to him because Snake has screwed him over, or he's screwed over Snake, or vice versa. And of course, they've screwed over Fresno Bob. So we'll have to see, but I think Danny McBride would be perfect. Now, to go alongside Brain, you need somebody to play Maggie, who's really the brains behind Brain. And so in the original film, she was played by Adrienne Barbeau, who was absolutely fantastic and gave just a stunning performance as Maggie. To get somebody who's played Maggie, you need somebody who's equally as stunning, and I'm going to give this one to Betty Gilpin, who was in Glow, and she was also in The Hunt. She's I think she's one of the up-and-coming action stars that needs more roles like this, and she was in The Tomorrow War as well, but she's great. She can kick ass. She's just awesome in the movies she's in, and so if you haven't seen some of her performances, check them out. But if they can't get her, somebody like Vanessa Kirby, who was also in Hobbs and Shaw, was really good. She was in Mission Impossible Fallout. She would be great in this role as well. Or somebody like Samara Weaving, who Radio Silence has worked with on Ready or Not. If you haven't seen Ready or Not, one of the best movies of 2019. Check it out. She kicks ass in that movie. And then, of course, you can get somebody new that's also worked with Radio Silence, like Melissa Barrera from Scream. And she's sort of an unknown other than people who've seen Scream, but she might be great in this role too. For the Duke of New York, this one is also kind of silly. I know this list sounds like kind of like a meme, but I'm going to go with Winston Duke. If you haven't seen Black Panther or Black Panther Wakanda Forever 1, check out my review of Black Panther Wakanda Forever here. But as M'Baku, he commands the screen like Isaac Hayes would in Escape from New York. He is a massive presence on screen, and as the Duke of New York, you need to be bigger than life, because he is the Duke of New York. He's this prisoner that's taken over the prison island of New York. You need somebody who can do that, and Winston Duke is that, and it's also just kind of nifty that his last name is Duke. So go figure. I only have one choice for that role as well. For the President of the United States that gets kidnapped and dropped down into New York that Snake Plissken has to go in and save, this one, you want somebody who is also like Hauk, who's an old school ass kicker, but you want somebody less than that. So Donald Pleasance is an ass kicker. He's great. He was great in the role as the president. He fit very perfectly as the president with a British accent. But you need somebody that's similar like that, that's been in blockbuster films, that has been a blockbuster actor, but might be a little on the lesser side of their luck right now. And I think this role would be perfect for Richard Dreyfuss. He's in two of the original blockbuster films in Close Encounters of the Third Kind and Jaws. He would be perfect for this role. He's not quite as much of an ass kicker as you would want like an action star, but he fits in with that blockbuster sort of gravitas that you would want for the role. If you can't get him, go big. Go for somebody like Daniel Craig or Russell Crowe. I think they would be perfect for this, and it would also fit the U.S. president having either an Australian accent or a British accent. But those two might be pretty big names, but those are the guys and the girls that I would pick for the Escape from New York remake. What would you do? Who would you want to see in an Escape from New York remake? Are these picks stupid? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and do all that YouTube stuff. Make sure to check back for the channel. We've got Judas Priest-a-thon coming up if you like heavy metal music. We're always reviewing horror movies, Blu-rays, 4Ks, anything you want, video games on the channel, so make sure to check it out. And I will see you again real soon. Thanks for watching.